Hello friends, this really is one of my vlogs. I'm just enjoying this late bit of summer sunshine, and it's so nice to be in a secure home, government housing, and you know, from being in a hostel where I felt totally insecure, it's helped me a great deal to recover and to feel more peaceable in my life. I want to talk about a few of the things. Now, I've had a very destined life because the hand of God was shaping my future right from before I was born, before I was on this planet. That He chose my mother very carefully, Mary, and my father, and knew I'd have the right characteristics that He would desire me to have. So, you know, I've many times said, why am I worthy? But since, you know, I thought, well, maybe I am in some ways, but I try to practice what I talk about. You know, in my own life I try to be peaceable and loving and caring. So I just want to talk about one of the experiences that happened to me and a big impact in my life. I met a young lady, and she was younger than I thought she was. I got divorced in 1992, but we agreed to break up, my wife and I, because certain problems that were happening, and it was traumatic losing my kids. They were quite young, the oldest two were had started school, and the youngest one wasn't at school yet, and I missed them terribly and got very depressed for a month or two after they'd moved out, because I was living in a tied cottage on the job as a shepherd, and my wife and kids had to move out, and it was not good. But I started going nightclubbing because I didn't enjoy pubs, and I just could sort of blend in and just have a drink and, you know, enjoy the music and stuff. I started looking forward to it, and I've been going clubbing for about 6 months, and it was I broke up with my wife in I think it was 92 or 92, and in the early February of 93, I was at a nice club just locally. Well, it wasn't that good a club, but it was okay, and I enjoyed myself, and I was standing there, and there was this very pretty girl with her friend sitting at this table across the way from us, and I was talking to this guy next to me, and he said, "How old do you reckon she is?" And I said, "Oh, I reckon she's about 18, and he said, "No, I reckon she's about 20. I said, "Well, no, I think she's more like 8. Anyway, I was standing there just talking to him, and she came over, and she said, "Have you got 50p? Because I ain't got enough to buy another drink." So I gave her 50p, and I said, "Maybe I'll buy you another drink later, you know." And she went toodled off with her drink, and I went over there and bought her a drink, and you know, we were chatting away. You can't chat very much in a loud nightclub, but you know, she dragged me up onto the dance floor, and all I saw was this big Cheshire cat smile, and I didn't know then, but she had both her parents had Irish blood in them, and she had red hair and freckles and green eyes, and she was very, very beautiful. I mean, exceptionally beautiful, and she had a great physique as well, very fit. I danced with her, and it was close. All of a sudden at 12 o'clock, her friend starts dragging her up out the seat and saying, "We've got to go home," and she was like quite inebriated by that point. And I thought, well, she ain't got no pockets, I'll never see her again. I just had one business card where I'd done some sheep shearing that I gave to some people, and I didn't have nowhere to put it, so I just stuck it down the back of her pants, and which are knickers in this country, and hoped that she'd find it at some point, which she did, and she phoned me up, and we got in touch, and we arranged to meet again, and we met at that same club again the next Saturday, and then I asked her out, and we started going out, and I was really quite taken, smitten with her after the first couple of weeks, and we'd been going out about 3 weeks, and she said, "I've got something to tell you," and I'd actually told her I was a bit younger than I was, and she turned around and said, "I'm only 15, and that was a big shock to me, but I'll tell you, I loved her. You know, I was falling in love with her already, and I couldn't give her up and didn't want to give her up, and that we did have a full relationship after that for the next 2.5 years, and I said, you know, she was quite hung up and couldn't show her emotions. She did love me, you know, and I know she did, but she couldn't show it, and she didn't ever say it, and she wasn't very trusting because she'd been very betrayed and hurt and very hung up. And you know, it was a shame it ended up ruining the relationship, because after 2 years I said you know, we were in a rut that she could never show me love, and I wanted to be trusted, and she didn't trust me. She didn't trust anybody, and I just decided to become friends with her rather than go out with her. But you know, I've been to the police station and told them that I went out with a 15-year-old and had sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old, and but I refused to name her because they said, well, give us a name, and and I said, well, I won't, because that's 15 years later, 14 years later down the road, she doesn't want to know. But she doesn't want the police contacting her about that, and so I refused to name her. And there was another girl that when I was 17 I went out with a 14-year-old, and that we had intercourse as well, but I told them about that as well, that I refused to name her as well, because those people, they don't want to be hassled by that sort of stuff. Both of them were willing to have sexual intercourse at that age, and they were both very exceptionally mature girls. Like I said, you wouldn't have known that the 14-year-old was more like a 17-year-old, I suppose, and the 15-year-old was more like an 18, 19-year-old. A very mature attitude, very grown up, very physically mature. But obviously I'd done a wrong, and I went and I confessed to the police this year, in fact, because I thought it was time I did, and they wanted to know who they were, but I refused to name them. And so they said, well, we can't press any charges without a victim. And but I wasn't going to put that upon them, so I'd done what I did. I got conscientiously had to clean my slate, because I do have good conscientious. I am an upstanding man. I try to be, at least. But we all make mistakes. But that was love with both of them, so I don't consider love a mistake. She was 15 and I was 29, 30, so there was our age difference, but she wanted somebody that was trustworthy, you see. Even though she couldn't trust, she still wanted somebody that was more dependable, more trustworthy, and not going to run off with somebody else. So that's the way it went. But it was good, and I enjoyed it. But she taught me many lessons. I was exceptionally sensitive to what other people said to me in them days, and she really toughened me up. And I know that she was my destiny in this life, but Father God helped to put me with her, and obviously he didn't see a problem with me being with her. He considered her mature enough as well, because I absolutely, totally believe I was meant to be with her, because she'd done so many things. She taught me, because I suffered I thought I never would. I said I'd never suffer hang-ups in my life, but when I was attacked by spirit and felt that they were persecuting me to death, I got hang-ups, and that I was betrayed by a good person that gave me hang-ups, and I could not find other good people that would answer my questions, and I got very hung up myself. But that was a lesson to me from her, of how to get over it myself, and it did help me to get over it, having that experience with her. And she toughened me up, she did toughen me up, so that if people said nasty things to me, it bounced off, because I was very, very sensitive to people saying anything nasty to me. I take it really personally, and she used to say a few nasty things to me just to toughen me up. So she only done it for a couple of months, and then she stopped, because she knew I was too sensitive. And that's life. So I've had many lessons in this life, and many experiences with many different people, and made some mistakes, yes, but I've gained a lot by the experience I've had, and we all do. So I bless you, and I thank you for listening. Bye bye.